Alright guys, welcome back to Jack on Tracks. And as you see in the other videos, we got the main building pretty much done. Like I said, I'm just waiting for the other parts to come in for the interior. I don't know how long it's going to take. It seems like they're taking a ridiculously long time. So I cut the sprues out. We're going to set this oil tank. One of the videos, we sanded this down to get rid of this seam because it was pretty friggin' unsightly. It actually feels pretty good. This one, the same thing. Had a big divot on this side. I got to sand that down a little bit more. And then I'm going to reshoot this in the stainless and flat coat, clear coated. This one I'm going to shoot straight up in flat black. But I'm going to leave the legs this colored green. And then we're going to start doing some weathering. I got the copper, and I'm just going to touch up some accents on here with the copper, and then we'll go from there. But here we go. We'll put these little legs together. As you can see, I painted the bejesus out of these things. So we'll go from there. All right. So we'll move on from there. We'll get the, you see this paint and little surfaces. This one I started cleaning up the two spots that need to get cleaned up so we can glue this on. And yeah, let's do that. I'm not too worried about this being perfect. It's a very small piece. There's going to be some weathering done to it, some rust added to it later to make it look aged. So I think it's going to be fine. This Tamiya, as long as you get down to the, as long as you get a little bit down to the surface, to the plastic, this stuff really seems to. It gets in there and grabs. It'll get under the paint. It'll melt the paint into it. I used to use 10X, I think was the name of stuff. I got it saved somewhere. That stuff worked really well. But apparently it causes cancer and arboreal fruit flies in California, so not allowed to have it anymore. I'm going to say it's probably the same exact stuff as the Tamiya. And then on these, just there's like an inside, outside, and get in here on this inside. This leg, I think this leg actually broke, and I touched up with the Tamiya, and it's holding pretty damn solid. So, I mean, this stuff, Tamiya gets in there and bonds it. I don't think I ever used the Plastistruck stuff, but I don't think I ever used Plastistruck material. I think I always used Evergreen. On these legs, there's an inside and an outside. A little detailing. That's flat. So we're going to make sure we get the inside. All right, let that dry up for a second. Yeah, it's pretty much it. So that's this one. We'll go take it over to the quasi paint booth that I don't have, and we'll paint this one black, and I'll give this one a little more sanding because that's what it needs. All right, we'll get this mounted up on a piece of tape. Give it a quick shot of that silver. This is going to sit over here and dry. We'll have to square it up when it's on the when we mount it to this, which is not going to be a problem. We'll get this mounted up and paint it up, and we'll come right back. All right, guys. So here we are. We're back. I actually decided to paint this black, and I'll do a little. We're going to do a little coloring on there a little bit later on in this. It's going to clean up the surface. I actually wound up buying last time I went to the hobby shop. They had they'd just gotten in a whole brand new box of Tamiya spray paints, which I am like super happy because I really do like that flat black. That black that I painted the roof with, really not a big fan of that. I don't know what it is, that color. I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't look great. It don't look like, I mean, you can't see it because it's now covered, but it definitely, I don't know if it, I don't know if it just didn't cover right or what. I'm not going to see that, and I can touch that up later. This is only the beginning of this. This is going to get a bunch of washes. So, all right. Let's set up a little makeshift holding platform here. Don't have to hold forever, just got to hold for a minute. All right, so there with that. Hold it in place. Hope my fingers aren't in the way. Try to keep my head out of the light. Hopefully after Christmas I can rectify the lighting. I asked Santa for a ring light. Hopefully Santa listened to me. I also asked for a big boy. Go big, go little. Usually get somewhere in the middle. But yeah, so we'll see. Oh, come on. I'm just going to turn around only because I can't see anything on that other side, and this thing is really not cooperating. Alright, I'm going to hold that in there for a minute or so and let it set up. I might go in there, I might hit it, might give it a little hit with the thick. I'm not sure yet. I believe I got the regular set here too. This thin stuff, this extra thin quick set just sets up quick. I don't think it's any less strong than the regular stuff. It just sets up quicker. All right, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna give this a touch. a little touch. We're gonna give a little touch. I'm gonna use this brush because this brush is really small. All right, a little bit of that thick in there. I'll let gravity work its magic. And yeah, we'll let that dry, and then we'll come back and we'll give it we'll do a little detailing on it. All right, so right back. All right, so that right there, that little thing right there is the spout that goes under that. And we're just going to touch up these tops, and we're going to do it with this copper. All right, let me just adjust this a little bit so I get a better picture for you guys. Gonna be real quick because not really a lot to do. All right, so that's that. All right. That I didn't want to happen in it. I just did. Just kind of ran a little bit. All right. That got a little messy, but I don't think you're going to notice that from a distance. I'm not going to notice it from a distance. Yeah, those two. Those two are done. As soon as that's dry, we'll put it on there, and then basically all the secondary stuff is done in this building. We're going to do a little weathering on the roof, and we should be good. All right, guys, we'll be back. Hey, guys, welcome back. We're going to, I picked up some copper color paint. I painted that little emblem right there. It's Mr. Color Copper. It's actually, it's really, I like this stuff. I just got to remember that when I go to clean the brush, that it's not water-based. So I keep doing that with this stuff. But this stuff is really nice. You can actually, if you look on here, remember I painted these silver, all right? Stainless or or aluminum, but you can actually polish it. The only problem with it is that if you don't polish it up, you constantly touch it, you get silver all over you. So I got my brush, I got my roof, got my glasses on, and I'm going to try to be real careful with this because I don't want to get this on my black paint, on my black. So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to switch over to my visors. Turn that on. This might take 2 coats to do this, to cover this up, but it's going to be worth it because this stuff really looks good. Alright, I got to tune this brush up a little bit. It's got a little bit of a weird thing going on here, and it's annoying me. There we go. Just had a couple of little hairs that were just sticking out just a little bit, but there was just enough to make it a little difficult. Alright, so got the first coat on the top and go down the side here, and so I really don't need to be too super careful with the side. I'll load this brush up and get a nice coat on there. Yeah, definitely gonna take a second coat, but can't put a second coat on until you get the first coat on. That looks pretty freaking good. That's gonna look nice, especially when you do a little patina on it. That's gonna look really good. Yeah. Now the only problem with this stuff is, with this paint, is that when you polish it and then you hit it with a clear coat, it kind of flattens it out. It loses that polish, it loses that color change. I'm gonna let this dry. Now my helping hand, let that dry out completely. Come in here, we're gonna paint these bad boys. And when we cut this off, we're going to do a little cleaning up on here where the sprues attached, and we'll clean it up, and then I'll touch it up. These are gonna get weathered too. Watching a couple of videos, a couple of guys out there. One guy does it with washes, the other guy does it with a sponge. So I'm gonna do it with a sponge wash. No, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'll try doing a couple of these with the wash, the way one guy showed it, see how it comes out. If I like it, I'll just go with that, and then if I I'm questionable about it, I'll try the little sponge technique, and I'll see which one I like. I will say this stuff goes on pretty nicely. It's not, like I said, you should see I'm going back and checking it. But I mean, you look, it went on pretty even, which is actually very cool, because a lot of times when you do a colored metallic paint like this, sometimes you get a little unevenness in the way it looks, the finish on it. All right, let that dry, and we'll come back here. We'll get this side going for first coat. I will tell you one thing, this stuff definitely has a interesting odor to it. Not really like bad. Some of the AK stuff, like I got one of their sprays. Wow, does it smell? So it's good stuff. I gotta tell you guys that are getting into the hobby nowadays, you really kind of lucked out. I mean, not with all this ready to run stuff, because it's just crazy expensive, really, for what it is. Like I said, I'd rather build a kit. But the quality of materials that you have nowadays, just the detail on even the low end stuff, the detail on the low end stuff is really nice, engine wise and stuff like that. Yeah, but paints and adhesives and the materials that you use, the kit bash stuff, has really come up in quality. Touch up one little area uneven. All right, let that dry. So guys, what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to release all my videos 7 o'clock on Sundays, so I can be on live chat with you guys. So you guys have any questions, techniques, where I get stuff? Even though I'm not sponsored, I'll tell you where I get stuff. I'll tell you where I get good deals from. I'll tell you where I find hard to reach stuff. I do try to buy as much stuff as I can locally, but you see with some of what's in the box stuff, I get a bunch of stuff off of eBay and stuff like that. I really do prefer to buy everything from a local guy. One, I can go there, look at it, touch it, feel it, put it back down, walk away, think, and walk right back and pick it up and buy it, especially if it says Pennsylvania Railroad on it. But it is what it is. So, but yeah, you just come on, just even just come say hello. If you want to make questions, just say hi. I'm gonna put some on here. You can see it's reactivating that silver underneath a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit on here because I'm gonna try polishing that. That's the other thing. I think this stuff you gotta really shake this stuff. You keep shaking it as you're using it. I will say stuff dries. That's the other stuff. That's the other thing. Like, even though this is a lacquer-based one, solvent-based, I should say, it actually dries relatively quick. Sometimes some of these take forever. That's like, back in the day, the acrylics were pretty much garbage. You really didn't have a choice in really good acrylic paints back then. And even the really good acrylic paint, not even close to what we got nowadays. I mean, the Tamiya stuff was always good, but it's much better now. All right, so we'll just let this dry. Yeah, so we're gonna let everything dry out, and then we'll go on from there. I'm gonna let it dry for a good period of time, so it's nice and set, and then I'll put the second coat on. All right, so we'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're back on this roof again. We did a second coat on the copper, and it looks much better. I gave it a quick burnishing with a towel, polish it up a little bit. That's worked out nice. Now I'm just putting on tape. So when I tried different ways of sealing the tar paper originally, and one of the ways I did it was I tried spraying it with the Tamiya flat that I had, and on the test piece that I did, it made it kind of white, which I wasn't going to have. So here we go with this. Not really too concerned about the chimney getting paint on clear coat on it, because it's going to get some more weathering done to it. But I just want to make sure I get much of this tar paper-ish effect covered as possible. I don't want to get it was very obvious what happened when I sprayed it out, so I'm going to try to avoid that. I just shoot this with a little clear coat, dull coat on it, and we should be good. Alright, right back. I hit that with the clear coat. I'll take this tape off because I don't want to possibly adhere to the tar paper stuff that I did. Just back in this jig. And we'll set this over here, let it dry out. Well guys, welcome back. Yeah, the roof dried up, and I just threw it on the structure and put it on the layout. There was another video finishing up what you saw there, but that disappeared, so I don't know where that went. And here we are. It's on the module, looking pretty good. So that's pretty much it. That's roughly what it's going to be like. Maybe some more greenery. We're going to do a parking lot. I think I'm going to use black grout for the parking lot. We're going to do a little more weathering. That should tone down that copper a little bit. And then the final touch would be the copper downspouts when the roof is permanently on. But yeah. That's what we got. Yeah, thanks for watching Jack on Tracks. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification button like you know it. It owes you money. Thanks for watching. And as always, catch you later.